There's three things that you need for a garden to work. You need sunlight, you need water access, and then like soil. Soil is probably the most important. If you don't have decent draining soil, the water just floods. What's going to happen oftentimes is you grow these beautiful gardens and then it rains really hard and everything dies. And that's what's been happening at Lederer. The soil is really healthy. They got tons of sunlight, we got water access. They'll plant these gardens and it'll be beautiful, and then it'll rain really hard and everyone loses everything because the water has no place to go. So we're having a volunteer day today at Lederer Gardens. This is a 50-year-old garden. It's been productive for a while, but for the last 10 or so years, it's still productive. It's just that it rains and it floods and everything dies. So what we're doing today is we're trying to redesign the farm. One, to kind of control where the water goes, so it doesn't just sit on top of your plot. We're trying to, make long, uniform beds, garden beds in rows, so all the water, rushes into certain areas that we want, and then we have French drains to take that water outside the farm. We're redesigning this to allow the water to actually escape the site, to actually have someplace to go. So it's still going to get muddy and wet when it rains, but it won't flood and it won't kill all of our crops. What we have here is a gravel-less French drain. These are perforated pipes that have holes in them. So you dig a trench, you lay this in the trench, and then you cover it back up, and then as the water, everything gets saturated, it drains into this drain and then drains out to the bioswale. They come with their own sock, and it's full of artificial gravel. What this does is it keeps the mud from blocking up all the holes in the pipe. So by doing it this way, we don't have to deal with, carrying gravel. We have all that stuff in this sock, and then we just dig the trench, lay this in the trench, get a couple inches of soil on top. These come in 10-foot sections, and we need 100 feet. So we get these couplings, put these couplings on, attach each one. And then on the one end, we have these end caps. We put this on the one end that we don't want water to go through, the actual cap. And then we have a drainage cap on the other end. And that will allow the water to go through, and it will keep animals and stuff from getting up in there. And hopefully this will solve our flooding problem. Drainage is the most important part. I mean, if you don't have good drainage, you either need to create drainage or find a different spot. You just need an overflow. You need some spot where the water can run. Sometimes that could be the street and the gutters. Sometimes it could be like a little area that is okay to flood. Urban farms, typically, we're a lot more compost heavy. So we have a lot more compost in there, which is good for nutrition. It's good for a whole bunch of biology and stuff. But compost goes away after a year. That's the problem. If you fill like a raised bed full of compost, come back the next year, it's going to be gone. We want to build soil structure, so we want to raise these beds off the ground. So if you have bad draining soil, you want to think about adding sand and topsoil. And then once you have a decent soil structure that drains, then you can add compost, fertilizers, whatever you want. It's kind of hard to grow gardens, I think we oversell it. It's like, here's some seeds, some compost, feed your whole community. And when it's actually pretty hard. Anyone could do it, they just need to have the capacity, the time, and they need to have a couple years to kind of, trial by error and learn as you go. We're gonna make sure this farm is productive. This is an acre farm, so we're gonna make sure it's productive. And anytime community members can come, they can volunteer, they can get some hands-on, experience, they can learn. They can also harvest, anytime they want, they can come down and just, pick, some tomatoes and stuff. And then we'll have produce giveaways too, where, if you don't have a lot of time, people could just come and pick up a box of produce. So the whole point of this is kind of recreating the commons. Lederer is in a food insecure neighborhood. We're trying to work with a community that wants this and wants to work with us. So it's pretty exciting to see how many people showed up today.